Welcome to EFT. I'm Rev Sam. Some of you have never heard about EFT. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's also known as tapping. Admittedly, it looks a little weird, and surprisingly, to some people, there's actually a lot of science behind why this works. Most of us remember the story of Pavlov and his dogs. Through conditioning, Pavlov conditioned his dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell. Our minds work in a very similar way. We link up all sorts of stimuli in our systems. Then, when we have a thought, we have a corresponding emotion, which then triggers all sorts of chemical releases in our bodies. Things like cortisol, hormones, adrenaline, just to name a few. All you have to do is say the phrase, New York Yankees, to a Boston baseball fan, and you'll see the cascade of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Tapping releases negative emotions from our bodies that are stored in our tissues, our meridians, and our subconscious. Tapping can also be used to reinforce positive things. So if you're a big fan of affirmations, tapping can really supercharge that process for you. The first part of the success formula with tapping is called the setup statement, and there are two parts to this. With the setup statement, we voice what's going on for us that is negative, such as, I'm feeling really upset right now. And then to balance that out, we voice a positive thing, such as, and I accept my feelings. We do this 3 times while tapping on what is called the karate chop point. And we do it like this, or like this, or you can go for it like this, or even like this. Then we'll be tapping on meridian points in our body while we stay focused on just one thing, such as being upset, or the pain somewhere in our body, or something that we're feeling really anxious about. So before we begin, I'd like you to check in with yourself right now. If you're in pain, I'd like you to focus on that pain. Where do you feel it? Is the pain sharp? Is it constant? Is it dull? Is it achy? And so in your mind, you may have a thought like this. I have a dull, aching pain in my left knee right now. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being no pain, and 10 being, yeah, this is really as bad as it really ever gets, give it a number. And the reason we do this is so that we have something to compare it to after we've done the round of tapping, so that we can see where we're making movement on this. If you don't currently have a physical pain, think about something that's really making you very anxious, and really focus on what that is. Where are you feeling that anxiety in your body? Now that may sound like a really odd question, but if I put 10 people in a room and I ask them to describe where they're feeling anxiety in their body, I could get a half a dozen answers. For instance, I have a tightness in my stomach and my throat's feeling really dry right now, and I'm about a 9. And again, we do this so that we have something to compare it to after we do the work with the tapping. So here we go. Just say what I say and do what I do, and try to put as much emotion and feelings into it as you possibly can. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. We're going to start with the karate chop point. And again, you can do it like this, or with the other hand, or this way, or even this way. So repeat after me. Even though I'm feeling pain or anxiety right now, I fully and completely accept how I'm feeling. Even though I'm feeling this in my body, I fully and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling really uncomfortable right now, and I don't like feeling this way, I fully and completely accept myself in this moment. Great. Now we're going to go through the tapping points. The first one is where your eyebrow actually meets your face. And if you need to, feel free to pause this right now and run to the bathroom and get a little hand mirror just so you know you're on track. So again, it's right where your eyebrow starts to meet your face. And say this: oh my goodness, I don't like feeling this pain or anxiety in my body at all. The next point is on the other side where your eyebrow ends, on the side of the face, and you might feel like a little spot right in here where the bone kind of goes in. So tap in there and say, I feel this so intensely in my body. Great. The next point is on the bone under your eye, right in the middle. And you say, it doesn't feel good. Great. The next spot is under your nose, between your upper lip and the bottom of your nose. Just tap in there with 2 fingers and say, all this disruption. Yuck, I don't like feeling this way. Great. The next point is the chin point. It's between your lower lip and kind of right there in the middle where your chin divots in. In fact, I hate feeling this way. Great. The next spot is the collarbone point. Put your fingers in that U shape right there in your throat and come down about 2 inches and then go in. Either side is fine. And tap in there. This is called the collarbone point. And repeat after me. It's so awful feeling this way. Great. The next spot is the underarm point. And really, it's over here on the side. You can do it this way. You can do it on the other side of your body, or we can have a little fun with this and do it the monkey way. Now, repeat after me. I really want this pain and anxiety to go away. Great. Now we're going to finish on the 7th spot at the top of the head. And you can say, I'm open to releasing this pain and anxiety from my body. Terrific. Now we're going to do a few more rounds of tapping and just follow along. And this will help reinforce what you've learned in terms of where the tapping points are. I'm open to letting this fade away. I can feel this in my body, and I don't like it. I'm open to releasing this from my system. I don't like feeling like this. I wonder what it would feel like if I let some of this go. I bet I'd feel better if I felt healthier. I really want this to go away. I still have some remaining pain or anxiety in my body. And I choose to release the rest of it. This remaining pain and anxiety. All this lousy feeling. I'm open to feeling so much better. I choose to feel more peace. I choose to release this remaining pain. I choose to relax and to breathe. That's great. So now take a nice, deep cleansing breath in. And let it just all relax and flow right out of your body. Check in with yourself now and take another reading on a scale of 0 to 10. What number now is the pain or anxiety that you were feeling? Has anything shifted, lightened, released, or just plain gone away? If your number has come down to a 0, a 1, or a 2, guess what? You're probably all set. There's a good possibility that this has gone away and it may not come back, particularly if we're talking about pain. If it does come back, simply tap. If your number has come down and it's still a 3 or above, terrific! You've made some great movement with this. You can replay this video and continue tapping until your number gets even smaller. For those of you whose number didn't change, or it actually went up, I encourage you to try this again. First, let me ask you a couple of questions. Number 1, did you keep your attention on what we were doing? If you got distracted, that's okay. Play the tape again and try it again. If you were really focused on what we were doing, did a thought or a feeling pop into your mind? If it did, you can replay this video, this time focusing on what that new thought was. Oftentimes, multiple layers of just below the surface, and just like peeling an onion, each of those layers is a tappable item. Replay the video, tap on that new thought or feeling that came up for you. You can even put the video on mute and just follow the points along and change the words to talk about that new feeling or emotion or thought that came up for you while you were doing the tapping. Just keep working at it. You can do this. So by expressing the negative words that come up for us, we're simply showing them the light of day, and then they don't have as much power over us anymore. There is no magic formula with what words to use. I really want everyone to be able to do EFT for themselves all the time, as often as you need to. So use the words to reflect just what's going on with you internally inside. I encourage you to do the tapping as often as you possibly can. So, I hope you've enjoyed my first video, and welcome to tapping. Please feel free to give me a thumbs up and pass this video along to anyone that you know may enjoy the experience of learning about tapping. Or, if you're interested in having the text of the scripts that we use today in the tapping, along with what the tapping points are, feel free to drop an email to me on my website, and I'll get those out to you. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Be well, and remember to tap.